All right, today we're tackling a big one. We're diving into the mind of Fyodor Dostoevsky, and specifically his really challenging ideas about suffering. And look, these weren't just theories he came up with. They were forged in a fire so intense, so unbelievable, it didn't just change him, it changed how we understand what it means to be human.
So where do we even start? Well, let's go right to the moment that changed absolutely everything for him, the single event that became the starting point for his entire philosophy.
I want you to really try and imagine this. You're 27, you get arrested for, political activities. Then, on a cold day in December, they tell you you're going to be executed. They lead you out, stand you in front of a firing squad, and you just wait. You're waiting for the bullets that are about to end your life. And then, at the very, very last second, a messenger rides up. It was all fake, a complete sham, a terrifying mock execution cooked up by the Tsar just to mentally destroy the prisoners before they were sent off to Siberia. Now, for most people, an ordeal like that would just be shattering, right? But for Dostoevsky, it was something else. It was like a dark revelation. Standing right on that edge between life and death gave him an understanding of suffering so deep, so precise, that no comfortable philosopher sitting in a cozy study could ever come close to it. This wasn't just some horrible thing that happened to him. No, this was the birth of a completely new way of seeing the world.
Okay, so to really get what Dostoevsky discovered, we first have to understand the world he was pushing back against. And here's the crazy part. It's gonna sound a lot like the world we live in right now.
I mean, think about it, right? Our whole world, from the apps on our phone to modern medicine, it's all basically built on one big idea. Suffering is the enemy. It's a problem to be fixed, and the goal is to get rid of it completely. But Dostoevsky? He just completely rejected that entire premise. And listen, it's not because he enjoyed pain or something. It's because he saw what we give up, what part of our own humanity we actually lose when all we care about is being comfortable.
And this wasn't just some abstract idea he came up with, sitting in a comfy chair. No way. Dostoevsky's philosophy was forged in the absolute harshest reality you can imagine. 4 years of hard labor in a Siberian prison camp. A place where every single illusion you have about life just gets ripped away.
In his book, Notes from Underground, he basically created a character to serve as a warning for us. This underground man is super smart. He can analyze his pain from 100 different angles, but he's totally paralyzed by it. He just thinks and thinks and thinks. And what happens when you only think about suffering instead of actually moving through it? Well, you become a ghost in your own life. He is the complete opposite of the real men Dostoevsky was about to meet in Siberia.
Because in that prison camp, Dostoevsky noticed something shocking. A truth that basically flips everything we think we know upside down. He saw that the men who had been through the absolute worst, we're talking murderers, thieves, guys who had lost everything, they often weren't the most broken ones. In fact, they were often the most alive, the most present. And the ones who somehow managed to avoid all the hardship, they were the hollow ones, the ones who seemed totally absent from their own lives.
So here's the key takeaway, the big revelation he had. Suffering, when you face it head-on, honestly, without trying to numb it or explain it away, it doesn't actually diminish you. It forges you. It's the fire that creates a genuine, real self. It's what shows you who you really are. Okay, so this huge insight he gets from Siberia, it builds into what might be his most radical, maybe even his most dangerous idea. And he lays it all out for us in his masterpiece, The Brothers Karamazov. So in the book, you've got these two brothers who are like two different ways of dealing with pain. First, there's Ivan. He's the intellectual, the rationalist, and he makes this absolutely brilliant, flawless argument that the suffering of just one innocent child makes the entire world, all of creation, completely unjustifiable. I mean, it's a devastating argument, right? How can you argue with that? And then you have his younger brother, Alyosha, and his response, well, it's not an argument at all. It's something totally different.
Dostoevsky calls what Alyosha does active love. So what is that? Well, it's not about having the perfect thing to say or coming up with some clever solution. It's about having the simple, profound courage to just sit with someone in their pain. Not trying to fix it, not trying to make it smaller or explain it away. It's the exact opposite of that kind of easy, comfortable distance we try to offer people, isn't it? It's just presence. And this just perfectly illustrates his deepest belief. You see, you can't argue your way out of suffering. Logic can tell you why you're in pain, sure, but it can never, ever give you a reason to actually get through it. For Dostoevsky, the only real answer to the horror of someone else's suffering, or even your own, is not an answer. It's a presence. It's that simple, kind of terrifying but incredibly powerful willingness to just stay there in the full reality of it all.
So, okay, this is all fascinating stuff from a 19th century Russian novelist, but so what? Let's bring it right here, right now. What does any of this actually mean for you in your life today?
Think about our first instinct, right? It's almost a reflex. We treat suffering like it's a technical problem. We find the cause, we apply a fix, and we try to get back to normal as quickly as humanly possible. But Dostoevsky's warning is this: when we rush to fix the pain, we completely miss the message that the pain came to deliver. He's suggesting that your suffering is trying to tell you something really, really important about your life. He really forces us to look at a fundamental and, pretty uncomfortable truth. You can spend your whole life building up walls of comfort and distraction, but suffering, it's going to find you. It always does. It's not a bug in the system. It's a core feature of being human. And once you accept that, well, that sets up his final, really powerful challenge for all of us. And this is the question he leaves us with. The question he leaves hanging in the air for you, for me, for everyone. The suffering is coming. That's a guarantee. So the only real choice you have is how you're going to meet it. Are you going to numb yourself, distract yourself, and miss its message entirely? Or will you have the courage, the raw, simple honesty to actually enter it and let it do the work it came to do, to let it forge you into the person you're truly meant to be?